After a month-long hiatus, Digimon Ghost Game returned with episode 22 and brought with it an iconic SkullGreymon appearance, sort of having SkullGreymon as the Digimon stand-in for Freddy Krueger, with humans being trapped in a dream world where this nightmare of a Digimon haunted them and would cause real bodily harm to their real-world bodies. This week was another great example of Digimon Ghost Game taking ideas from classic horror and thriller films and asking what that would look like in the Digimon universe. It was also an episode where Hiro and Gamamon took a back seat, allowing us to focus on the other two pairs of characters, Kiyoshiro and Jellymon, plus Ruli and Angoromon. And it really reminded us that as much as we love Gamamon, this isn't the Gamamon show. So welcome back to the Digino, where we talk about Digimon every week. Let's review and break down the latest episode of Digimon Ghost Game, and at the end, we'll talk briefly about the episode 23 preview, since that looked extremely promising. If you're new here, welcome. Ghost Game is proving to be an excellent new addition to the Digimon lore, and you should definitely check it out if you haven't already, but you like past Digimon seasons. This week sees two of our main characters, Jellymon and Kiyoshiro, operating this new cherry blossom, hanami, and sleep business, trying to offer the busy and stressed people of Japan an opportunity to relax and nap under the cherry blossoms. It's really Jellymon's business, but she needs a human spokesperson to convince other humans to come, which is where Kiyoshiro comes in. We see in the cold open that people aren't getting the perfect peaceful nap that was advertised, but instead are being haunted in the dream world by a SkullGreymon. Not the SkullGreymon from Digimon Adventure 1999. It's not like that. This isn't Tai's Agumon or anything, but it's a SkullGreymon nonetheless, and it looks horrifying. Because this show is meant to evoke fear and pay homage to the horror genre, they really spare no expenses to make SkullGreymon look creepier than ever here. Ruli and Angoromon are looped into the business and find themselves unconscious in the dream world, where they come face to face with that SkullGreymon and also realize they're in kind of a time loop, always starting at a cherry blossom tree, taking damage if they get caught by SkullGreymon, and then restarting at the tree. My favorite component here is that the dream world they find themselves in is utterly gorgeous. It's clearly inspired by Van Gogh's Starry Night. What a great choice to make the dream world distinct from the real human world, but also distinct from the AR field of previous episodes and the digital world of former series. It genuinely feels like its own space, like a new world in the Digimon universe, this kind of dreamland. Like I mentioned, really takes a bit of damage, and in the real world, Kiyoshiro and Jellymon see the wound on her hand that wasn't there before she went into her sleep, so they decide what has to happen is that they have to go into the dream world and help. If not to save their business from crashing, then to at least save their friends, Ruli and Angoromon. Kiyoshiro's eyes open and we find him in a different section of the dream world. He's not under the cherry blossom tree, but at the bottom of a colorful ocean. They swim to the surface, where they come face to face with their own SkullGreymon demon, and then it's the commercial break. And that feels like as good a time as any to give some love to the sponsor of this video, Bai, who have been supporting the channel through thick and thin. It's an amazing service for anime and game fans living outside of Japan, looking to get their hands on Japanese exclusive merch. Japan exclusive is really a thing of the past thanks to services like Bai. They're a proxy shipping service, which means you can sign up, tell them your address, then you shop on Japanese retailers like Rakuten, Amazon JP, the Yahoo auction sites even, and when you found your dream item, maybe a Digivice Vital Bracelet or a WarGreymon figure or a Jujutsu Kaisen plushie, you tell them you want to buy it and they essentially purchase it on your behalf and send it to you wherever you are. If you sign up for Bai for the first time using the Digino's link in the video description, you're going to get a 2,000 yen coupon, roughly $20 US off your first order. Additionally, one of the sites you can shop on through Bai is Rakuma, and until April 29th, they have a 5% off coupon for all Bai users. I'll have both the links in the description of this video. Thank you to Bai for sponsoring the video. I used Bai to purchase my Digivice Vital Bracelet, and it's legitimately one of my favorite Digimon products, maybe ever. So check them out for sure, and let me know what you order by tweeting me a pic at the Digino on Twitter. Okay, now back to the episode. After narrowly escaping this SkullGreymon, the two teams meet up, so Team Ruli and Team Kiyoshiro, to try and figure out how to break out of the time loop and wake up. I should have also mentioned that before falling asleep, Kiyoshiro messaged Hiro, but apparently Hiro's phone is being repaired right now because Gamamon damaged it by trying to eat it, thinking that there was chocolate underneath the phone case. What a perfect and on-brand reason for Hiro to be written out of this episode. Great stuff here. Even when we don't get a Gamamon episode, we get that hilarious little tidbit to remind us how awesome Gamamon is. So the kids find themselves back at the cherry blossom tree in the dream world, and this is where Kiyoshiro begins to understand the nature of the loop. He also says the line a few times, "If we die in the dream, we die in real life," which is great. Such a horror genre homage happening here. And also I love the loop element, since there have been so many great looping video games in recent years, though Majora's Mask is always the GOAT, just saying. We restart in the ocean again, the one that Kiyoshiro originally arrived in, and here he utilizes the fact that he's aware that he's in a dream now and begins to lucid dream, so he can manipulate the dream itself, and he parts the sea in this kind of biblical, super epic moment that exposes SkullGreymon. Things go off the rails here though in a really great way. Now that he's aware he's dreaming screaming. Kiyoshiro has like omnipotent control of the world, and how he decides to use that power is incredible. He makes Teslajellymon transform into giant Teslajellymon. It's now like a kaiju battle, like Parrotmon versus Greymon in the first Digimon movie, but it's also like Gigantamax in Pokemon Sword and Shield. Giant Teslajellymon totally rules, and she dominates SkullGreymon. He's defeated, but as we're in a loop, we start to see him reforming again, like when those skeleton enemies in Mario or Zelda games reform. We find Pilomon, who is the secret ingredient Jellymon was using to make people fall asleep. We wake Pilomon up, and this wakes up everybody and heals all the wounds. Pilomon says, "I once got chased by SkullGreymon. Ever since then, I dream about that when I'm not feeling well," which explains SkullGreymon's role in this episode. Things more or less wrap here, which I'm pretty much fine with in my opinion, because we got a ton out of this episode, from a scary and iconic villain returning to clever writing with the time loops, the dream world, and just awesome character work for our team since Hiro and Gemamon were sitting out of this one. It was a great return for Digimon Ghost Game. I'm so happy we came back on a high note with this episode. I just feel bad that the animators and the production team were probably sitting on such a great episode for so long. I'm sure they wanted us to see all their hard work, so I'm glad it's finally out and in the public, and I want to say congratulations team for having the show back, and thank you of course for all the hard work. It's definitely paying off. The show rules. Now I do want to talk about the episode 23 previews, so click off now if you don't usually watch the previews and you don't want to hear. If that's you, thanks for watching. See you next time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It looks like our Digimon trio are infected with some kind of virus that seems pretty serious, and Mummymon of all characters from episode 2 has returned. So has Clockmon actually. It seems like a great reason to bring back Mummymon, who is kind of the medical expert. It's just a shame that he missed Arukenimon by only 2 episodes. I would have loved to see those 2 characters meet, just like they did in 02. The big question going into this next episode is whether it will be a consequential episode with real long-lasting story impact, or if after 22 minutes everything will be wrapped up and resolved. It looks like a pretty intense episode based on the idea of our lovable main character Digimon becoming infected and turning into these horrifying, ceiling-crawling nightmare Digimon. So I would love to see it become like the kickoff for a new string of episodes, but Ghost Game does like to keep things episodic and contained, so I'll understand if it's not like the start of the next arc or something. Anyways, what did you all think about episode 22 and of the episode 23 preview? Definitely let me know in the comments. I'm so glad the show is back. In case you were away just kind of waiting for the show to come on before you return to the channel, welcome back. I made like 7 or 8 videos during the hiatus. One on Frontier's 20th anniversary, there's a video on the X antibody Digimon, I even made a video about the card game on my second channel, and a bunch more. So if you haven't had a chance, go check those videos out. Like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. Thanks so much. Good to be back. Have a great week, and I'll see you in the next video.